What if the only thing standing between you and financial overflow is the power of your own words? Hidden in ancient wisdom is a truth. Your tongue is the rudder of your life. And when you align it with divine law, wealth cannot help but flow to you. Today, I will share the words that unlock the storehouses of abundance. Speak them daily. Believe them deeply. Watch money move toward you with ease, grace, and divine speed.
Let's begin.
Words are vibrational tools. Every word you speak carries a vibration. It is not mere sound, it is spiritual substance. Words are not idle expressions floating in the air. They are invisible instruments carving the shape of your destiny. Each syllable pulses with energy, an unseen force that travels through the ethers, drawing to itself a match, a response, a reaction. Just as music moves the soul and changes the atmosphere of a room, so do your words change the atmosphere of your life. Man's word is his wand. With it, he can create harmony or havoc, riches or rags, peace or trouble. Many wonder why lack surrounds them, not realizing they have been chanting the hymns of limitation, humming the chorus of "I can't afford it" or "money never lasts" day after day. They are using the vibrational tool of the tongue to affirm poverty, and so it becomes their portion. The law is exact. It does not mock or bend. It gives to each according to their word. When you speak, you set into motion the very law that governs all things seen and unseen. Your word is not forgotten. It is planted. It may not bloom today, but it grows beneath the surface of time, waiting for its moment. And when the harvest comes, people call it luck or fate. No, it is the return of the spoken word. There is no such thing as a neutral word. Each one adds to or subtracts from your good. Every sentence holds spiritual currency. You are either investing in riches or in ruin, and the most powerful words are those repeated, whether consciously or unconsciously. Repetition is rehearsal for reality. Speak the same truth long enough, and even the mountains will move to obey. A woman once said daily, "Money is tight, money is scarce, we just get by." She thought she was speaking facts, not realizing she was also speaking her future, and so money remained scarce. Doors remained shut. But when she changed her word to, "Money flows freely to me, I am always provided for," the very winds shifted. Unexpected income came, bills were paid with ease, not because the world changed, but because she changed her vibration. The tongue is a tuning fork. It either tunes to the divine melody of abundance or the dissonance of fear. And once it is tuned, all else follows. The circumstances, the people, the opportunities, they rush in to match the song. So let the song of your life be rich, holy, and expectant of good. Do not declare what you fear. Declare what you desire. Words carry faith or fear. There is no in-between. If you say, "I don't know how, but my supply comes now," you are calling on the infinite. You are lifting your vibration beyond the seen. But if you say, "It's hard, I never get ahead," you have bound your future with cords of doubt. The law does not judge, it simply obeys. When you use your words as tools, they shape the spiritual clay of your world. Speak wealth, and the vibration of wealth goes before you, opening unseen doors, turning delays into demonstrations. Speak health, and the cells of your body remember their divine blueprint. Speak favor, and the universe bows to your voice, arranging circumstances in your favor. Never say what you do not wish to see, for even jokes are seeds. The subconscious has no sense of humor. It takes your word as law. If you laugh while saying, "I'm always broke," your subconscious does not laugh. It simply begins construction. Be watchful. Be deliberate. Be clean in speech. Every phrase is a prayer. Every declaration is a decree. Every word is a tool, chiseling the masterpiece of your life. Wealth is a divine right. Man was not born to struggle, to scrape, or to suffer through lack. He was not sent into this world to chase coins nor to beg for his daily bread. He came forth from divine mind, stamped with the image of abundance, robed in the inheritance of infinite supply. Wealth is not a reward nor a luxury reserved for the few. It is a birthright, sacred, natural, eternal. The infinite did not create a barren earth. Look at the fields clothed in harvest. Look at the oceans filled with treasures unseen. Nature holds no concept of limitation. The tree does not strain to produce fruit. The river does not beg to flow. So why should man, made in the likeness of the Creator, be the only creation burdened with lack? The answer lies not in the outer world, but in the inner belief. When man forgets who he is, he forgets what is his, and in this forgetting, he forfeits his right to riches. He begins to speak of deserving and earning, not knowing that his very being is the claim. The child of a king does not beg for gold, he receives because of who he is. So it is with those who awaken to spiritual truth. They do not toil for wealth, they claim it. Wealth is not a pile of coins nor a bank balance. It is the awareness of divine supply, ever present and ever flowing. It is the knowing that every need shall be met, every good desire fulfilled, because God is the source and there is no lack in God. The storehouses of heaven are not empty. The supply is infinite, the channels many, and the only gatekeeper is belief. There are those who speak of wealth as if it were sinful, as if it corrupts the soul. But it is not wealth that corrupts. It is fear. Fear of loss, fear of lack, fear of unworthiness. Wealth, when received with a clean heart and spiritual vision, blesses. It builds. It heals. It allows the soul to express its full beauty, to give without restraint, to live without fear. The law is precise. What you recognize as yours begins to come. If you believe that wealth is reserved for others, it will stay far from you. But if you rise and say, "I am one with divine abundance, wealth is mine by divine right," the heavens respond. You shift your vibration to match the truth, and truth cannot be denied. Doors open, paths clear, the invisible becomes visible. Man's divine right to wealth is not earned through struggle, it is claimed through consciousness. When a soul aligns with the idea that lack is not law, everything changes. Opportunities appear where none seem to exist. People become messengers of provision, and miracles unfold in quiet and bold ways. For the universe does not withhold, it responds. There is no virtue in poverty. Poverty is not godliness, it is forgetfulness of source. To glorify lack is to dishonor the giver. If the Creator has provided abundance in every corner of the natural world, how much more has He prepared for man, who is made in His image? But man must awaken, he must remember, he must speak his inheritance aloud. Say it often, "Wealth is my divine right." Let it sink deep into the soil of your being. Let it override the old voices that spoke of unworthiness. Let it cancel the ancestral beliefs that glorified struggle. For you are not here to scrape by. You are here to expand, to thrive, to give and receive in equal measure. Wealth is not distant. It is here now, waiting for your permission. Affirmations are spiritual commands. Every time you speak a word with conviction, you send forth a command into the unseen. It is not a mere phrase or hopeful wish. It is a decree backed by spiritual authority. The universe does not interpret your tone, nor does it pause to question your worthiness. It listens for vibration, and when the vibration is clear, the command is carried out. This is the secret power behind affirmations. An affirmation is not begging. It is not pleading. It is not trying to convince. It is the voice of knowing. It stands firm in the truth of spiritual law and calls into form that which already exists in the unseen. To affirm is to align with what is already yours by divine right. The outer world may deny it, circumstances may contradict it, but the affirmation speaks from a higher place, a place of spiritual authority. The subconscious mind, which governs 90% of your actions and reactions, is always listening. It does not judge. It does not filter. It simply obeys the dominant word it receives. The conscious mind may entertain doubts, but the subconscious accepts repetition. It is molded by consistency. That is why affirmations are repeated, not to impress God, but to impress truth upon the subconscious until it becomes law in your life. When you say, I am prosperous, you are not lying. You are declaring truth that exists beyond what your eyes can see. You are calling forth what is already real in the divine realm. The affirmation pushes back against appearances. It is the spiritual sword that cuts through fear, doubt, and delay. Each time it is spoken, it weakens the stronghold of old beliefs and strengthens the reality of the new. Words filled with faith have magnetic power. They attract their own. Speak health, and healing begins to respond. Speak peace, and chaos loses its grip. Speak wealth, and the law of supply stirs to meet you. You are not simply saying things, you are activating spiritual law. The affirmation is not asking, it is commanding with divine backing. Many speak affirmations as if reading from a page, lifeless and unsure. But true affirmation is filled with spiritual authority. It carries the fire of belief. It is not volume that matters, it is vibration. A whisper of truth, spoken with unwavering conviction, moves mountains more surely than 1,000 words spoken in fear. The spiritual command must come from a place of inner agreement. To affirm is to remember who you are. It is to speak as a divine being, not a helpless victim of chance. You do not beg the law to work, you direct it. You do not wait for signs, you create them with your word. I am guided. I am protected. I am provided for. These are not wishes. They are spiritual orders that shape the very atmosphere around you. The conscious use of affirmations is one of the greatest tools ever given to man, yet it is often neglected or worse, misused. To affirm lack, fear, or limitation is to misuse divine power. Every time you say, "Nothing ever works out for me," or "Money is hard to come by," you are issuing spiritual commands just as surely as when you say, "Everything I need comes to me now." The law does not care what you affirm. It only obeys. It is not enough to say an affirmation once. It must be written upon the tablets of the mind. It must echo within you until it becomes more real than appearances. You say it until you feel it. You say it until you know it. You say it until you no longer need to convince yourself, because the truth has taken root. When that happens, manifestation is inevitable. Affirmations are not magic, they are law. They are the way spirit expresses through man. Each one is a seed, sown in the fertile soil of the subconscious, watered by repetition and emotion, warmed by faith, and destined to bear fruit in its time. Speak with faith, not fear. The words of the tongue are like arrows loosed into the unseen. They travel farther than the ear can hear, carrying the power of the Spirit behind them. When you speak, you are not merely describing the world, you are shaping it. Each word is a mold, and whatever you pour into that mold, faith or fear, becomes form. That is why the wise are careful not only of what they say, but how they say it. Faith is the language of the soul aligned with divine law. It speaks not according to appearances, but according to truth. It looks at the mountain and says, "Move." It looks at the empty purse and says, "I am richly supplied." It looks at the sick body and declares, "Wholeness is mine now." Faith does not ask, "How will it happen?" It simply knows that it must. Fear, on the other hand, is the great deceiver. It speaks in the voice of logic and limitation. It whispers doubts, disguising them as realism. It convinces the mind that delay is evidence of denial, that struggle means separation from source. And when fear is spoken aloud, it multiplies. One word of fear can plant a field of worry. A sentence of doubt can open the gates to delay. To speak with faith is to command the invisible to take form. To speak with fear is to give power to illusions. Fear-based words do not just describe lack, they sustain it, they energize it. I don't know what I'm going to do. Things never work out for me. Money always runs out. These are not harmless phrases, they are declarations made under the authority of fear, and they bring forth after their kind. The law of the spoken word does not discriminate. It listens and obeys, whether the word is spoken in faith or in fear. It gives man exactly what he claims, not what he hopes for in silence. That is why the tongue must be trained to speak only what is desired, never what is dreaded. If you do not want it in your life, do not give it life through your words. Faith speaks the end from the beginning. It does not wait for evidence before it speaks. It is the evidence. The woman who says, "I know the right opportunity is already on its way," is planting a seed that cannot help but bloom. The man who says, "I am guided, even if I don't see the next step yet," is building a bridge across the unknown. These are not wishes. These are spiritual commands spoken in faith. Even in the darkest hour, the one who speaks with faith holds the power. For faith draws from a well that never runs dry. It sees beyond delay. It does not deny that challenges appear. It simply denies them authority. Faith does not argue with fear. It overrides it with truth. It speaks calmly, confidently, as one who knows the source is never absent and never in lack. To speak with faith is not to ignore reality. It is to align with a higher reality. The unseen is more real than the seen, for it is from the unseen that all things come. When you say, "All things are working together for my good," you are not escaping truth. You are speaking the higher law into action, and the higher always overrides the lower. Train the tongue to become an instrument of power. Let it speak with clarity, with certainty, with sacred boldness. Let the word be seasoned with trust and filled with divine expectation. There is no limit to what faith can do when it is spoken. It opens doors, breaks barriers, and moves mountains, not through force, but through spiritual authority. Fear has no voice where faith is declared. The subconscious acts on your dominant words. The subconscious mind is the silent servant of the soul. It listens without judgment, receives without resistance, and acts without hesitation. It does not argue, it does not question. It accepts what is given to it, especially when it is repeated, emotional, and dominant. The words you speak most often, and with the strongest belief, become its marching orders. They are instructions written into the very walls of your reality. Many think they are ruled by fate, by chance, or by circumstance. But the truth is far simpler and far more powerful. Man is ruled by his own spoken word. What he says continually, especially with feeling, becomes his law. The subconscious does not know whether you are speaking in jest or sincerity. It does not distinguish between sarcasm and sacred truth. It hears your repetition, it feels your emotion, and it obeys the command. The dominant word is the loudest word. It is the one that echoes most often in the chamber of your mind and speech. It may not be the most dramatic word, but it is the most consistent. It is the quiet, "I can't afford it," murmured throughout the day. It is the repeated, "I never have enough time," said without thought. These words, though casual, are powerful. They become the programming that the subconscious turns into daily experience. When man changes his words, he changes his life. But the change must be more than occasional. It must be dominant. One affirmation of truth cannot cancel 1,000 affirmations of fear. The subconscious listens to the sum total of your inner and outer speech. The one who constantly says, "I am always late," should not be surprised when delays multiply. The one who continually says, "Money comes easily to me," and believes it, finds doors opening and unexpected supply appearing. It is not luck. It is law. The subconscious is like rich soil. Whatever seed you plant, whether rose or weed, it grows. Your words are the seeds. Your emotion is the water. Your repetition is the sun. Speak it once and forget it, and the soil remains neutral. Speak it often, with energy and belief, and the harvest begins. The subconscious is never idle. It is always growing something. The only question is, what have you planted? Some speak prosperity for 5 minutes a day and speak lack the other 23 hours. Then they wonder why nothing changes. It is because the dominant word is still fear. The dominant vibration is still doubt. The subconscious is not mocked. It reflects exactly what it is told. It does not act on your wishes. It acts on your beliefs, shaped and declared by your words. To reprogram the subconscious, the word must be spoken again and again until it sinks past the surface mind and takes root in the deeper layers of belief. At first, the new word may feel foreign. I am wealthy may sound like fiction. I am loved may feel like a lie. But continue speaking, and the subconscious begins to listen. With enough repetition and energy, the new word becomes the new truth, and once accepted, the subconscious works day and night to fulfill it. The key is consistency. Speak what you desire, not occasionally, but continually. Let your dominant words be ones of faith, not fear. Replace I always fail with I am divinely guided to success. Replace I never get what I want with all good things are drawn to me now. Say it in the morning. Whisper it at night. Let it be the song of your soul until your subconscious makes it your reality. You do not have to force the subconscious to act. You only have to feed it the right instructions. Its nature is to obey. Its design is to carry out. And once the dominant word becomes truth in the mind, the outer world aligns. People change. Circumstances shift. Opportunities appear. Not by chance, but by command. Not from effort, but from alignment with the silent law. Gratitude multiplies riches. Gratitude is not a polite gesture. It is a powerful spiritual force. It is not something you offer only when all is well. It is the secret that makes all things well. Gratitude is the magnet of increase. It draws to itself more of what is acknowledged. Whatever you give thanks for grows. Whatever you appreciate, appreciates in value and presence. Many believe that riches come first, and then gratitude follows. But in spiritual law, it is the reverse. Gratitude opens the door. It is the signal that says, I am ready to receive more. It is the spiritual acknowledgement that supply already exists, and what is recognized multiplies. You cannot complain your way into abundance, but you can give thanks your way into overflow. There are those who wake each day and see only what is missing. They look at the bills, the debts, the delays, and speak from lack. They focus on what they do not have, and by law, they receive more of it. Their words are laced with complaint. Their thoughts are drenched in worry. They say, nothing ever changes, and so it does not. The atmosphere around them grows tighter, heavier, poorer. But the one who begins with gratitude shifts the entire vibration. They give thanks for what is, and in doing so, they unlock the gates for what can be. They look at the same room, the same home, the same balance, but instead of speaking from lack, they say, thank you for this day. Thank you for the roof above me. Thank you that my needs are met. These words are not passive. They are creative. They set the spiritual law of multiplication into motion. Gratitude is recognition of supply. It is the act of seeing through the eyes of abundance, even when the outer world appears otherwise. The grateful soul does not wait for more to feel rich. They feel rich first, and more is drawn to them by divine response. Gratitude is the vibration of receiving. It is the posture of one who trusts the source completely without needing proof before praise. The law is precise. What you are grateful for increases. Say, I am grateful for every dollar that flows to me, and dollars begin to flow with greater ease. Say, I am thankful for the opportunities I see and the ones unseen, and suddenly paths begin to appear where once there was only fog. Gratitude is not wishful thinking. It is a declaration of abundance before the evidence arrives. A woman once said, I have nothing to be thankful for. I am tired, broke, and alone. And so she remained. But when she was told, begin with the little things, give thanks for your breath, your hands, the light through your window, something shifted. She began to say, "Thank you for this meal. Thank you for this quiet moment. Thank you that things are changing for my good." Within weeks, opportunities arose, connections were made, and her life began to bloom. Not by accident, but by spiritual law. Gratitude lifts the soul out of fear. It removes the heavy garment of anxiety and wraps the spirit in peace. When you are grateful, you are no longer begging, you are acknowledging. You are not focused on what is missing, you are aligned with what is present and promised. You speak as one who knows the source is limitless and the supply is always on its way. The richest people are not those with the most, they are those who recognize the most. They see treasure where others see trouble. They give thanks while others give complaints. And because of this, life gives them more peace, more provision, more opportunities, more joy. Gratitude does not wait for conditions to be perfect. It makes conditions perfect by shifting perception and inviting the divine to multiply what is already at hand. Money flows through channels, not from people. Money is not created by people, it is delivered through them. People are not the source, they are vessels, instruments, channels through which divine supply flows. The moment you fix your gaze on a person as your provider, you narrow the flow, you limit the infinite to the finite, and where you limit, you restrict. Where you restrict, you delay. Supply becomes stuck because your belief is stuck. All provision originates in divine mind. It is unseen before it is seen. It begins in the spiritual realm before it reaches your bank account, your mailbox, your hands. God is the source. The universe is the system. People are only temporary instruments, interchangeable and countless. When one channel closes, another opens. The river may change course, but the water never stops flowing. Many look to an employer, a partner, a client, or a family member as their financial lifeline. They say, "If they don't give, I won't have." They panic when one door shuts, not realizing that the source has never changed. The channel may shift, the form may vary, but the flow continues for the one who trusts the law. Divine supply is not tied to a person, a paycheck, or a position. It is tied only to consciousness. When you remove your faith from people and place it in the infinite, you release others from the burden of being your provider. You free them and you free yourself. You no longer beg, chase, or manipulate. You trust, affirm, and receive. You stand in the knowing that God is my supply, and large sums of money come to me through many channels, under grace and in perfect ways. Then the unexpected happens. A gift appears. A refund arrives. A door opens. A stranger becomes a messenger of provision. When you declare that money comes from people, you begin to chase personalities. You measure your worth by their approval. You cling, worry, and wonder. But when you declare money comes from God through people, places, and things, you stand in power. You walk in peace. You let the channels come and go while the supply remains constant. You stop leaning on human means and lean into divine law. One channel may be a job, another may be a business, a gift, an investment, a blessing that seems to come from nowhere. But the spiritually awake know there is no nowhere. There is only source. People are not your supply. They are reflections of your supply. What flows to you flows according to your faith, your word, your vibration, not someone else's mood or means. If one stream dries up, bless it, release it, and watch another appear. Do not curse the closed door. Do not resent the one who stopped giving. Give thanks that the infinite is always finding new ways to reach you. Money is energy. It is movement. It does not disappear. It simply seeks the path of least resistance. Be the one who resists nothing, who expects everything, and who trusts fully. When you stop depending on people, you stop fearing them. You no longer worry about their opinions, their judgments, or their decisions. You stand tall in the truth that your supply is not in their hands. Your good does not come from them, it comes through them, and if not through them, then through another, by divine appointment. Declare often, "The riches of God are flowing to me now, through countless channels. I do not depend on one, I depend on the infinite." Speak it until your heart believes it. Know it until your mind stops panicking. Let the words go before you, preparing the way for divine provision to arrive through paths you could never plan or predict. The supply is never limited. The channels are always many. Claim prosperity as already yours. Prosperity does not come when you beg for it. It does not come when you chase it. It comes when you claim it. It comes when you rise in consciousness and declare, "It is mine now by divine right." The spiritual law does not wait for outer proof. It responds to inner knowing. You do not receive prosperity because you wish for it. You receive it because you know it is already yours in the unseen, and you speak as one who possesses it. To claim a thing is to own it, not someday, not when conditions change, but now. When you claim something in the spiritual realm, you call it into form. You shift from being a seeker to being a receiver. You take your place as heir, not outsider. Divine mind does not recognize lack. It does not operate in maybe or almost. It responds to certainty. It moves when man speaks from authority, not anxiety. Many say, "I hope one day to prosper," and they remain in hope, never entering into manifestation. Others say, "It's not here yet, but I know it's mine," and they begin to see signs and wonders unfold. It is not the outer condition that determines the flow, it is the inner claim. The one who says, "My wealth is already here, working through unseen channels," is preparing the ground for its arrival. You do not wait until the money arrives to speak prosperity. You speak prosperity so the money can arrive. You do not wait until the debt is cleared to say, "I am financially free." You say it now, and by saying it, you plant the seed. The words must come before the form, for the word is the beginning of all things. Speak it until it feels natural. Claim it until it becomes a spiritual reflex. To claim prosperity is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is not pride, it is truth. You are not stealing from anyone when you declare your riches. You are stepping into the abundance that has always belonged to you. The storehouses of heaven are not locked, they await your claim. The universe does not ration supply, it waits for the voice of authority to say, "This is mine, I accept it now." Some wait for a sign, a confirmation, a condition to change. But in spiritual law, you are the sign, you are the confirmation, you are the condition that determines what flows into your life. If you speak as one who is poor, you align with poverty. If you speak as one who is already rich in spirit, money begins to find you. Prosperity is not a goal, it is a state of mind, and once it is claimed in thought, it begins to express in form. Speak as if you already have it, walk as if your needs are already met. Give thanks for the abundance that is already working behind the scenes. Declare daily, "I walk in abundance. I dwell in the overflow. Prosperity is my natural state." These words are not affirmations of hope. They are declarations of truth. They do not try to make something happen. They reveal what is already spiritually done. The one who claims prosperity does not flinch at a bill or fear a delay. They say, "This is already taken care of. My supply is unlimited. I am provided for." They do not depend on evidence. They depend on truth. And truth, once spoken with faith, reshapes reality. It does not ask permission from appearances. It overrides them with authority. You are not trying to become prosperous. You already are. The wealth exists in the invisible. Your job is to claim it, speak it, and align with it. The claim must come first. The possession follows. The word goes forth, and the law moves to fulfill it. Not because you earned it through effort, but because you recognized it through faith. Your word is your wand. Direct it wisely. The spoken word is not mere sound, it is power. It is the magic wand of creation placed in the hands of every soul. With it, you write the script of your life, command the forces of the unseen, and shape the conditions that surround you. Your word is charged with spiritual force. It is never idle. Each phrase carries within it the blueprint of a future experience. Just as a magician lifts a wand to direct energy, the awakened soul lifts the word to direct destiny. The word spoken with belief does not vanish into the air, it takes root. It sets into motion the laws of cause and effect, of vibration and attraction. It travels faster than thought, for it is backed by intention and spirit, and once spoken, it begins its work, either building or destroying, blessing or blocking, depending on the instruction it carries. Many speak carelessly, not knowing they wield the instrument of manifestation. They speak lack and are surprised by poverty. They speak fear and live in anxiety. They speak of confusion and meet obstacle after obstacle. They have used their wand in reverse, casting spells of hardship without awareness. Yet the law does not play favorites. It simply fulfills the command. To speak with power is to speak with consciousness. It is to remember that the word you release today becomes the life you live tomorrow. It is to stand guard over the mouth and speak nothing you would not want to see in form. Idle words are not harmless. They are seeds. And the garden of your life reflects what has been planted again and again. Your word can part seas or build walls. It can summon prosperity or scatter it. It can call love into your life or drive it away. That is why you must speak as one who knows the power behind the sound. You are not asking when you speak. You are commanding, not with force, but with faith. Not from ego, but from alignment with truth. There is no neutral word. Every phrase you repeat carries vibration. The phrase, "I always struggle," is not just a sentence, it is a decree. "Money never stays with me" is not a joke, it is a curse spoken aloud. But the phrase, "I am divinely provided for," is a blessing. "My path is clear" is a prophecy. The word is your tool, your guide, your silent scepter of dominion. To direct the word wisely, you must listen to yourself. Pay attention to the phrases that slip from your lips when you are not watching. What do you say about your health, your wealth, your worth? Are you speaking life or speaking limitation? Are you declaring what you want or what you fear? The subconscious does not filter, it records, and the universe responds in kind. The trained word builds worlds. It is consistent, confident, and calm. It does not speak from panic, but from purpose. The one who has mastered their word has mastered their world. They do not flinch at outer appearances, for their word is creating a new one behind the scenes. They bless, affirm, and declare, knowing that what is spoken in truth must manifest in form. Practice the art of speaking as though every word you utter carries weight, because it does. Speak of abundance and watch it rise. Speak of harmony and feel it unfold. Speak of peace, joy, favor, and supply, and watch these very things show up at your door. The word is your wand. Use it with reverence. Use it with clarity. Use it as the creative force it was always meant to be. Never speak of lack, even in jest. Every word you utter carries spiritual power. The tongue is not merely a tool for casual conversation, it is an instrument of creation. Whether spoken in seriousness or in jest, each word carries vibration. Each word is received by the subconscious as instruction, not entertainment. The law does not distinguish between humor and command, it only hears, receives, and obeys. To speak of lack, even playfully, is to plant the seed of limitation. When you say, "I'm broke," or "I can't afford that," even with a smile, even with a laugh, the subconscious does not take the joke. It records the statement as law and begins its silent work to bring that declaration into form. The universe listens without irony. It responds not to tone, but to truth. And the truth it hears is the one you repeat the most. Speak as if you already have it. Walk as if your needs are already met. Give thanks for the abundance that is already working behind the scenes. Declare daily, I walk in abundance, I dwell in the overflow. Prosperity is my natural state. These words are not affirmations of hope. They are declarations of truth. They do not try to make something happen. They reveal what is already spiritually done. The one who claims prosperity does not flinch at a bill or fear a delay. They say, this is already taken care of. My supply is unlimited. I am provided for. They do not depend on evidence. They depend on truth. And truth, once spoken with faith, reshapes reality. It does not ask permission from appearances. It overrides them with authority. You are not trying to become prosperous. You already are. The wealth exists in the invisible. Your job is to claim it, speak it, and align with it. The claim must come first. The possession follows. The word goes forth, and the law moves to fulfill it. Not because you earned it through effort, but because you recognized it through faith. Your word is your wand, direct it wisely. The spoken word is not mere sound, it is power. It is the magic wand of creation, placed in the hands of every soul. With it, you write the script of your life, command the forces of the unseen, and shape the conditions that surround you. Your word is charged with spiritual force. It is never idle. Each phrase carries within it the blueprint of a future experience. Just as a magician lifts a wand to direct energy, the awakened soul lifts the word to direct destiny. The word spoken with belief does not vanish into the air, it takes root. It sets into motion the laws of cause and effect, of vibration and attraction. It travels faster than thought, for it is backed by intention and spirit. And once spoken, it begins its work, either building or destroying, blessing or blocking, depending on the instruction it carries. The spiritual law of increase responds to praise, gratitude, and expectation. It contracts under complaint, sarcasm, and self-deprecating humor. I never have money, said even with a chuckle, becomes a prayer the subconscious begins to answer. I'm always behind on bills, said in passing, becomes an order written on the walls of the mind. The conscious mind may forget, but the deeper mind does not. It builds according to the blueprint it receives. To keep your word clean is to keep your life in divine order. You do not have to be solemn, but you must be sincere. You may laugh, but never laugh at your own abundance. You may speak lightly, but never lightly of your own power. Let humor uplift, not undermine. Let conversation affirm, not contradict. Every word is either moving you toward abundance or away from it. Some believe that self-mockery is humility, but it is not humility. It is spiritual carelessness. To diminish yourself in word is to confuse the forces that respond to you. To make light of your own worth is to dim your own light. The one who says, I'll probably never be rich, but that's okay, has just issued a decree. They may smile, but the soul does not. The subconscious accepts it as truth and reflects it accordingly. You were never meant to speak against your own good. Your word is your wand, your instruction, your claim. To speak lack is to affirm that the universe is not enough. To speak limitation is to declare that divine supply has failed you. But the truth is, it has not failed. You have simply misused the word that commands it. Correct the word, and the supply begins to flow again. Practice saying only what you want to see. Declare only what you desire to receive. Let no sentence escape your lips that carries the energy of fear, sarcasm, or shortage. Speak as if the heavens are listening, because they are. Speak as though your life depends on your next word, because it does. Speak only what you are willing to welcome. If someone laughs about being poor, do not echo them. If the world mocks wealth or speaks lightly of success, stand apart. Not in arrogance, but in truth. Bless others in silence. Affirm abundance inwardly. Keep your words sacred, even in company, even in casual moments. You are always casting a vote with your voice. Every phrase is a seed, every joke is a spell, every word, no matter how light, takes form. See yourself as a channel of divine supply. You are not the source of your good, you are the channel through which it flows. Divine mind is the source, spirit is the giver. You are the vessel, the instrument, the open pathway through which infinite supply expresses itself into the visible world. To recognize yourself as a channel is to shift from struggle into flow, from fear into faith, from effort into alignment. The supply does not originate with you, but it does pass through you. Just as a river carries water from its source to the land, you carry divine ideas, provision, and blessings into form. The river does not create the water, but it delivers it faithfully. And the wider the river, the greater its flow. In the same way, the more open and expectant your consciousness, the more divine substance moves through you. Many block their own good by believing they are separate from their supply. They believe they must earn it, force it, or chase it. They see others as having more and themselves as having less. They worry about what will come and how it will come. In doing so, they tighten the channel. They close off the flow, but when you see yourself as a channel of divine supply, you release the pressure. You become a conduit, not a container. Supply cannot be hoarded, nor can it be forced. It moves where it is allowed. It flows where it is welcomed. When you say, "I am a clear, open channel for divine abundance," you give permission for the invisible to become visible through you. You shift from waiting to receiving. You no longer ask where the good will come from, for you know the source is infinite and the channels are many. To see yourself as a channel is to live in partnership with the divine. You are not here to generate supply from nothing. You are here to express what already exists in the invisible storehouse of spirit. You are here to allow riches, ideas, creativity, and blessing to pass through you to others, and in doing so, your own life becomes rich. You become the answer to someone's prayer, the hand of blessing in someone's need, the bridge between heaven and earth. And as you give, you are given to. As you flow, you are filled. Divine supply does not run dry. It pours into the vessel that pours out. You cannot exhaust the infinite. You cannot empty the eternal. The more you trust yourself as a channel, the more freely the current moves. You no longer feel the need to grasp, cling, or fear loss, for you understand that your good is not limited by a paycheck, a person, or a condition. A channel that fears cannot flow, but a channel that knows it is backed by the whole universe becomes unstoppable. Begin to declare, "I am a perfect channel for divine supply. Money flows to me and through me. I am trusted by the universe to circulate good." These are not mere affirmations, they are keys. They open the valve. They allow the spiritual current to move through your life in perfect order, right timing, and generous measure. Every time you see yourself as lacking, you reduce the channel to a trickle. Every time you affirm yourself as a vessel of infinite abundance, you widen the opening. There is nothing to chase, nothing to strain for, only something to allow. You are not the reservoir, you are the river. You are not the source, you are the stream through which the source flows into form. Forgiveness clears blocks to prosperity. Prosperity is not merely the presence of money, it is the free and unhindered flow of divine good through every area of life. It is peace in the heart, ease in the mind, and supply in the hand. But where there is unforgiveness, there is obstruction. The current of prosperity cannot move freely through a consciousness burdened by resentment. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is the spiritual cleansing that removes the dam from the river. To forgive is to release. It is to unbind the soul from the past and open the way for new good to enter. Many cry out for financial breakthrough while secretly holding on to old grievances. They demand increase while clinging to old betrayals. They speak abundance but harbor bitterness, and so the door remains closed, not because the supply is withheld, but because the consciousness is cluttered. Unforgiveness is a form of spiritual debt. It is a heaviness that hangs in the atmosphere of thought. It ties up the energy that could otherwise be used for creation, manifestation, and flow. The one who will not forgive is the one who blocks his own riches, not because God punishes, but because the law cannot work where the heart is hard. The law moves in clarity, not confusion. It responds to love, not resentment. When you forgive, you free yourself first. The one you forgive may never know, may never change, may never even ask, but your soul is released. The energy tied up in old stories and silent anger is suddenly available for joy, for creation, for prosperity. The mind becomes lighter, the words become cleaner, the vibration becomes higher, and the riches that were delayed by internal congestion begin to appear. Forgiveness is not always instant, but it is always possible. It begins with a decision. I release this person. I release this event. I release myself. I no longer hold court in the courtroom of my mind. I no longer replay what was said or done. I no longer argue with what cannot be changed. I release, and in that release, I make space. I allow. I become open again to receive. Even unforgiveness toward yourself can block your good. Many unconsciously punish themselves for past mistakes. They block prosperity because they do not feel worthy to receive. They sabotage opportunities and dismiss blessings, all because they have not yet forgiven themselves. But divine supply is not based on merit, it is based on alignment. And alignment begins with mercy. Mercy toward others. Mercy toward self. Say wealth words daily until they echo in your being. Every word you speak is a seed sown into the garden of your consciousness. Some bloom quickly, others require daily watering. But all, when spoken with feeling and faith, create the atmosphere in which your life unfolds. The words you repeat, especially about wealth, become the architecture of your experience. To speak wealth is to build wealth. To declare prosperity is to align with it. Say the wealth words until they echo, not only in your mouth, but in your soul. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was power. Spirit spoke the world into being, and you, made in the same divine image, hold that same creative authority. Every time you speak a truth-filled word about abundance, you are engaging in sacred creation. I am prosperous. Money flows to me. I live in divine supply. These are not idle chants. They are spiritual decrees. You are not pleading for prosperity. You are commanding it through alignment with divine law. The first time you say a wealth affirmation, your mind may resist. It may feel false. It may sound distant. This is not failure. It is evidence that your old mental soil is being turned. The ego clings to familiar poverty thinking. It doubts ease. It questions flow. But persistence is the tool of transformation. Say the wealth words anyway. Speak them when your wallet is full and when it is thin. Speak them when you feel bold and when you feel broken. Say them until they become your new normal. Wealth words are words of truth, timeless, eternal, and aligned with spiritual law. They affirm abundance, ease, freedom, and supply. They break the illusion of lack and restore the awareness of divine inheritance. The more you speak them, the more they sink from the surface of the mind into the depths of the subconscious. And once the subconscious believes, life begins to reflect that belief. The outer world rearranges itself to match the vibration of the inner word. Some speak of riches, but still live in the energy of struggle. This is because their words have not yet echoed deep enough. They have not yet taken root. Repetition is the key to resonance. Speak the wealth words daily, morning, noon, and night. Speak them when you rise and when you lie down. Let them be the background music of your day, the soft chant beneath your breath, the silent decree in your heart. You are training the atmosphere around you to respond to your command. You are speaking not just to the air, but to the substance of spirit. You are instructing energy, molding form, shaping possibility. With every affirmation, you are etching new lines into the soul. Wealth flows to me now. I am open and ready to receive. Divine substance fills every part of my life. These are not empty mantras. They are energetic blueprints encoded with truth. As you persist, the words take root. They become not something you say, but something you know. And from that knowing, all things are added. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, choose differently. You begin to carry the quiet confidence of one who lives under divine economy. Money no longer feels elusive, it feels natural. Prosperity no longer feels like a chase, it feels like a companion. You no longer hope for wealth, you expect it. Do not be concerned with how long it takes. Do not judge the delay. Let the words do their work. Just as a seed in the soil breaks through in silence, so does your new reality emerge as your affirmations rise in power. You do not need to feel them fully at first. Feeling will follow repetition, emotion will follow belief, and belief will follow the daily discipline of declaration. Keep the words before you, on your walls, in your journal, in your mouth. Let them be the first thing you speak and the last thing you remember. Say the wealth words until they are no longer words, but the very rhythm of your being. True wealth begins in consciousness. The words you speak shape the substance of your reality. By declaring wealth, affirming truth, forgiving freely, and giving generously, you align yourself with the divine flow of abundance that has always been yours by right. The inner transformation must come before the outer manifestation. Say the words daily, not as a ritual of desperation, but as a declaration of spiritual law. Speak with faith, not fear. Command with love, not lack. Let gratitude be your language and truth your song. You are not here to struggle for supply. You are here to embody it. You are not begging for prosperity. You are remembering your inheritance. Every word you speak, every thought you choose, every act of faith plants seeds in the garden of divine timing. In the silence of trust and the discipline of spoken truth, miracles begin to grow. Say the wealth words until they become your atmosphere. Walk as one who is already blessed. Think as one who lives in overflow. And know, with unwavering certainty, that the law is always at work and your good is always on its way.